From the Daily Star. Mom and daughter kicked off full plane for yelling at passengers to give up their seats. Geez, two women. Who would have thunk it? Two entitled, angry, and I might add, overweight broads. Of course, that's a given in the West. Get booted off a plane because of their extreme level of entitlement, meaning they just expected some people to give up their seats. Of course, it was a full flight, so I don't know what those people were supposed to do, yo. I don't know how that works exactly. The last time I flew, I had a seat assigned to me, and you could switch with somebody else if they would agree to it, but you didn't have like a first come first served kind of thing. But apparently this flight is first come first served. I don't understand how that works. If you have a ticket, doesn't that mean you have a seat on a particular flight? Maybe they'll explain this a little bit more. Does it work in a way that even if you buy a ticket, are they overbooking flights and then shuffling you off to another flight if one gets totally filled up? Are they filling the flights based upon who shows up earliest and who shows up latest, and whoever shows up earliest gets the first seats, and they go by whoever shows up at check-in soonest until at some point there's too many people and then the plane is full, and then they shuffle you onto a new plane like cows in a cattle car. I don't know how this works. Let's get into the story and find out. So the mom and daughter were late to board. But why would that make a difference? I don't understand. Unless the airline is overbooking flights, which I don't get. I mean, don't you have a seat? Their plane, they were late to board their plane and demanded other passengers give up seats for them. That's weird. Give up their seats. Wow. The plane was delayed for an hour until they were removed from the plane. That's so odd. I mean, you'd have to catch another flight if that's how it works, and you knew that beforehand, that you were boarded based on whoever showed up soonest. If I show up at 10 and I'm the first person to show up, then the next person shows up at 10:10, then I'll get the first seat, they'll be second, and then, on down the line. This is a very odd way to do business. So mom and daughter were kicked off a plane, allegedly yelling at other passengers and threatening to grab onto people during the flight. What? What? Like these two broads were going to physically remove dudes or dudettes from seats? Good luck with that. Talk about female privilege on steroids. Don't be telling me that women don't have actual privilege. If a dude tried to do this, he would get his teeth knocked out. But chicks have this a level of confidence that they can go around threatening to physically accost people on a plane and not get their teeth knocked out, especially post 9/11. It's crazy to me. Wow. That's nuts. Video shared, and we'll see the video very soon, online shows the duo getting on board a Southwest Airlines plane from an airport in Sacramento. Okay. Allie, who posted the clip on her TikTok account, official NorCal Mom. I tried to find this this video on her TikTok page, by the way. I had a very hard time finding her TikTok. It seems there's a lot of NorCal Mom, official NorCal Mom without the underscores, official NorCal Moms with, I don't know, different symbols in between the words. And even when I found her page, it wasn't there. I guess she took it down. I don't know. Claimed the two passengers got on the fully boarded plane despite there being no spare seats left. Is this one of those instances where you're like buying the ticket at the time of the flight? Like I did that once. I wasn't on vacation. I had to come back to America to get some passport issues sorted out. And I was back in the country for a few weeks, but I didn't know how long I would be. So I kind of had an open-ended ticket, like I had a ticket for a specific day and time, but I could leave sooner than that if there were seats available, or if I wanted to pay like $700 more, which I eventually ended up doing. It maybe that's the case here. Standby, I think it is. Like maybe these were standby passengers, but why would they be allowed on the plane if it's already full? Aren't there like ticketing agents and boarding personnel that wouldn't let you on the plane if it was already full? They would know it was full, right? It seems like somewhere along the line somebody failed at doing their job, because these people, they were able to get on the plane in the first place even though it was full. I mean, why were they allowed on the plane? I don't understand. Yeah, it makes no sense. There's no spare seats. Why would... In the caption, she wrote, they thought everyone should move so they could have an aisle seat. But there's no seats available. So if they were to get somebody to give up their seat, that person would have to leave the plane. I love the sense of entitlement. I'm a mommy, probably a single mommy, by the way, given this level of entitlement. So I get this straight, because you're a mommy, probably a single mommy, I'm just guessing, but I wouldn't be surprised. You get to take other people's seats, or they have to give up their seats, even though they could be mothers as well. And if they're men, they could be fathers. Well, I mean, what makes you any better? I'm a single mommy. I have to work twice as hard. I have to be a mommy and a daddy, even though I can't be a daddy. And I have to work to support my kid. So, I'm not even a very good parent, because I'm hardly ever there. But somehow I have some kind of God-tier privileges that should make you have to get off the plane and wait for the next flight. Which could be the next day or 2 days, and you'll have to get a hotel room. But hey, you should do that for me, because I have a poon and no man. I don't get it. The flight attendant politely asked them to not ask a plane full of people to move seats. Move where? It's a full flight. It's first come, first served. Yeah, I don't understand how that works. That is so bizarre. I don't get it. Anyway, in the video, which we'll see in a moment, a crew member is seen talking to them. We have families, we have little kids. Well, those families and little kids aren't as important as my family, for some reason. Yeah, I'm getting narcissist vibes here. We can't have people yelling. You're screaming and yelling. I'm not getting my way. Gosh darn it, I've always gotten my way my entire life. That's why I left my husband. He wouldn't give me my way. At some point, I wanted more. I wanted a poly relationship or whatever. Probably wanted more, that's for sure. And she wasn't getting it with him. So, the option is, of course, to break up the family. I'm not getting what I want. I have to get what I want always. Yeah. We'll just go sit down, even though there's no seats available. The daughter replies sarcastically while saying that her mom is just going to grab onto you and cry and scream on the plane. What? What's wrong with people today? I don't understand what these people, I don't get it. Why do people act like this? It seems to usually be women. I mean, that's why you got the Karen term, right? Got these kind of people that, like, they've never heard no before. They've never had to suffer consequences for their actions. And I've seen some broads, like, in their 60s and 70s acting like this. It's really surprising to me, I guess it shouldn't be, that somebody could live 65, 70 years and they've acted badly their entire lives, and they continue to act badly because they've never had to suffer negative consequences. Can you imagine, as a man, like, you live your whole life and you act like a douche, like these people, never any negative consequences? Wow. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing either. When another flight attendant, no, it's not, asked to put them on another plane, the parrot walked past them to look for aisle seats. What the hell? But there's no seats. It's totally booked. You're just holding up the plane. They can't leave with you on the plane. They're going to have to call TSA. They're going to have to call the cops. They're going to have to get security there to remove you if you're refusing to leave. Their flight attendants, their policy strictly forbids any kind of manhandling unless you pull out like a box cutter or something, okay? Or have to defend yourself from a direct attack. I mean, other than something like that, they can't remove you from the plane physically. It's just holding everybody up. When another this is crazy. Wow, there's the mom. So there's the mom. Yeah, big, giant gut. She's got a gunt going on. Yeah, wearing the tight camo pants on her large inflated buttocks. Yeah, I don't understand that, by the way. Why do these large and charged broads always wear these skin-tight clothes when their bodies are so hideous? Is it because they've just put on a lot of weight throughout the years and they're too poor or too lazy to buy new clothes? They just get skin-tight like this? Or are they actually buying these clothes because they're skin-tight and they're delusionally thinking that they somehow look good and the attention they're getting is positive? Oh, if they're getting any attention. And they think that's going to get them attention. Holy fay. Not the good kind. So, yeah, looks like the daughter is near grown, if not fully grown. And look, what is this? What is she doing right there? Does she have her hands on somebody? Is she like physically accosting someone in their seat? What the heck? Wow, people like this. Unbelievable. Ali said the flight attendant had already delayed for 2 hours. For these people? And they had to sit on the plane for another hour to wait for airport staff to remove the pair. Lovely, lovely. This is why I will not fly anymore. Not only because airlines have gotten woke, and now they do a DEI diversity hiring. You're black, you're hired. It's not based on merit anymore. You have a pilot's license, that's all you need. Yeah, this is a glass eye, but this other one sees pretty good. You're hired. No depth perception, but you're the right color. Yeah, that's one reason I'm not flying anymore. Another is people like this have become all too common. The flight attendant felt like the passengers weren't safe with their behavior. Yeah, you think? Especially 2 chicks. They can run rampant and rampage. Like Godzilla in an old Japanese movie, stepping on little Japanese villages and squashing the people in them into jam. That's what the big, large, and in-charge chicks like this can do. They can get away with almost anything, it seems. They will likely not be allowed to fly Southwest Airlines again. The whole plane applauded when they were removed. Jeez. Thank you for SWA for removing the Karens from our flight. Southwest Airlines has a pick-a-seat system where they don't assign seats. What the hell? What? To any passengers. Well, how? Is this just a money-making thing? Because, if you don't assign seats, and it's just a first-come, first-served, then you're selling tickets for seats that you don't have available. And then you're just having to put them on another flight. Later flight. That's interesting. Where they don't assign seats to any passengers, but they are put into different boarding groups based on the time they checked in on a first-come, first-served basis. What do you mean boarding groups? Like they have multiple planes going to a single destination? But what if you're only over by like 2 people? You're going to fly a plane with 2 people? Then that person has to wait until they fill that plane up. So, I guess it's cost efficient in terms of, I don't know, making more money, saving money, cutting corners. It sounds awfully inconvenient. Anyway, let's get to the video of this mastodon, this large in charge Queen Karen stomping about and creating a scene. So I got some text here. So flight from Sacramento to San Diego was already delayed 2 hours. And these 2 Karens came onto the flight right before the doors closed. How'd they get on? Karen and Karen 2.0 thought everyone should move. They'd have to get off the plane, though, so they could have an aisle seat. The flight attendant politely told them that they could not ask a full plane of people to move seats. No. I don't understand why they keep saying moving seats. Well, why is it being reported in this manner? To try and, minimize what these 2 women did so that people won't be as hard on the women. It's a full flight. For them to be on the flight at all, it would just be musical chairs because you'd still have 2 excess people. So they're really asking people to get off so they can take their place, and then those people have to get on a later flight. Gotta love the entitlement. The flight attendant politely told them that they could not ask a full plane of people to move. To get off is actually what they're asking. Karen 2.0 decided to scream into the plane full of passengers. Oh, Lord. And asked someone to give up their seat. Yeah, give up seat. Right. The flight attendant had just told her they couldn't do that. All right, let's see what we can see here.
I don't move that. We got families, we have little kids, we can't have nobody else. I'm not asking about I just said you started yelling. We can't have nobody else.
Wearing a mask, of course, yeah. This is something I don't like. The problem with this is that people get to hide their faces from being filmed, so they feel more brazen. They're more brazen, they feel like they can act in a more inappropriate manner because their face is hidden.
We're
I just was trying to ask if anybody would be willing to move.
Maybe step out on the jet.
Yes,
I'll call us.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's okay.
We'll just go sit down. We'll just go sit down and she can just cry and scream on the plane.
There's nowhere to sit. The seats are all full. What are you going to do? Sit in somebody's lap? I mean, if you were a hottie, I might actually like that, but you're not.
She's gonna grab on you and scream and cry.
Okay, ma'am, if you're going to say things like that, then she's not going to put you on a different desk. I just wanted to, it's my birthday. So she's saying that you're going to scream and cry and grab on, and I'm saying, is that the case?
That was really yelling. But
They were asked to go into the jetway, and then they made a bunch of concerning comments. She's going to scream and cry and grab onto people. Oh, wow. Wow. That's like a baby. They sound like little children, like babies that want candy in the supermarket, and they start screaming and crying, I want my marshmallow puff cereal. And then they cry and scream until they get what they want. It's like grown children. The flight attendant felt like the passengers were unsafe. They removed them both. Oh, my God. What a nightmare.
asked the flight if anybody would move for you. They said that was yelling before I made promotion.
And you didn't just say you were sorry?
I said I'm fine and I'm sitting in my seat, and they were not okay
You
with
don't have a seat. It's full.
So anyway, she comes to my son, and my son felt cold. He didn't want to get up and,
exactly.
Can you, by the way, imagine if this was two dudes? I mean, I guarantee you the entire plane would be yelling and screaming. It's so ridiculous to me, the double standards that exist, that people don't actually see it. These people should have been livid. I would have been yelling. I would have been screaming. I would have been telling them to get off the plane. And, of course, a bunch of people would have probably defended them at that point because, you know, they've got poons. But two dudes wouldn't have been given any slack. I guarantee you that.
she gets to the end and she says,
Because I asked the plane if
oh man, I'd rather not.
By the way, you think she had a seat there? She didn't. Somebody simply got up to go to the bathroom or something, and she took their seat. I love it. Wow.
She thinks he did less than
And now she's trying to put her baggage in the overhead stowaway. And she's taking other people's baggage out.
as well as.
Oh, wow.
So he says, okay, I got 15.
That's not her luggage. She tried to put it there.
I got
Wow.
15 on that.
Can you imagine that, though? That seat isn't hers. Somebody else is sitting there. Like somebody got up to go to the bathroom or to do something, and she stole their stowaway luggage and their seat. That's great. Wow, man. How larcenous of her.
I know, it was fine. I was sitting there fine in my seat. It's just these ladies on the couch. Lisa and I don't know what's her name.
I sort of see. Sort of see it. So it's like videographic. Yeah, it's like super. I remember.
7, okay.
It's shocking. It's shocking. You know what the interesting thing here is? That you wouldn't do something like that and create that kind of ruckus and delay everybody else unless you'd done something like that before and gotten rewarded. This kind of behavior only comes about when it's been reinforced. That woman is got to be in her 40s, mid-late 40s, and you got the daughter, looks like she's in her early 20s, and that's a lot of years to live to not have your behavior corrected. And you know it hasn't been corrected, because if it had been corrected and there had been pushback, they wouldn't be acting in this way. So what I infer from this kind of behavior is that this is really, in my view, the problem with modern day women. They don't get checked enough, if at all. The vast majority of them never hear no. They're constantly lauded and praised for mediocre or zero accomplishments. We've got the trophy for attendance, trophy award for having a pulse. Everybody's a winner. We don't keep track of points. We don't keep score. kind of mentality. Everybody's a genius, everybody's special, all this feel-good mumbo-jumbo nonsense. You make a mistake, you do something wrong. Oh, well, that's okay. It's not your fault. Oh, no, no, no. You actually get what you want. You do something wrong, you act in this way until you get what you want. So you don't see your behavior as wrong. You don't see it as bad. You see your behavior as good because it's getting you what you want. So these two ladies, they've acted like this plenty in the past, and it worked. So they thought it would work here. This is probably the first time that that kind of entitled, childish behavior hasn't been rewarded. Do I think they'll change? No. They're too old, especially the mom. There might be hope for the younger girl. I don't know. But isn't that shocking? Could you imagine as a man to get away with that? No, 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 no. As a man, we get checked constantly. We're not allowed to. We don't get rewarded, generally speaking, for our bad behavior. I mean, unless you're a black man. But that's a whole nother story and a whole nother video. But anyway, let me know what you think. Or are these two people in the wrong? Expecting two people to give up their seats? Because, I don't know, more reasons, Poon, Facheche, I don't know. I would imagine some of the people they were asking to give up their seats also had Vacheche's, Poon's, or kids, or both. But somehow they were more important. I love the entitled attitude. I love it. Like, I'm entitled because we're going to make a ruckus. We're going to make a scene until you give us what we want. It's like a might makes right, the ends justify the means kind of way of looking at the world. That seems to be the predominant viewpoint, very predominant among feminists, right? Might makes right, especially postmodern feminists, right? Yeah, the will to power, that kind of Nietzschean view of the world. There's no such thing as any kind of objective morality. It's just all based upon who is in power and what are their standards in regards to what is right and what is moral, i.e. the people who are in power decide what the objective, but not actually objective, what the norms actually are and what is acceptable. There are no objective standards or norms in regards to morality, let alone ethical systems. But anyway, let me know what you think. Does might make right? Were they in the right? Did they have a right to go onto this plane, to go onto this flight, and demand to have a seat? Or were they totally, completely in the wrong, selfish, or narcissistic scumbags? And this was the right outcome. And are these women emblematic, by the way, of the majority of Western women? Fat, overweight, homely broads who are extremely entitled by a system that caters to their every whim, from academia to media on down to government. And so they have this entitled attitude and they expect that kind of special treatment everywhere they go in life. They expect to get their way no matter how much they are in the wrong, because they always have to date. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. On YouTube, I am Bachelor Philosopher. And also check out my alt tech on BitChute and Rumble, where I am the realist philosopher. And also, if you'd like to support my work, you can drop a super chat, or you can sign up to support me on Patreon, where I am the realist philosopher. Any amount is greatly appreciated. I do put a lot of time and effort and thought into my content, especially when I'm presenting it to you. So any amount would be greatly appreciated if you can afford to support said work. And on that note, I am out of here. I am Bachelor Philosopher, also known as the Realist. And I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care.